was the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in the hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled as snug in their beds, all visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama, in her kerchief and I in my cap, had just settled her brains for a long winter's nap, after watching Adam Sandler's 8 Crazy Nights. Hi, I'm that acting guy, and as you can tell, I'm full of the festive joy that Christmas brings. And today, Total Cult's own presents the previously mentioned film, 8 Crazy Nights. Ho ho. Fucking ho.
This season, Columbia Pictures brings you Adam Sandler like you've never seen him before.
Please excuse me while I go take shower.
It's naughty.
Smell you later, poopsicle.
It's nice.
They were giving out lobster bibs in the bathroom.
That's a germ protector for your tushy.
It's animated.
It's Christmas time.
Jingle balls, jingle balls, jingle all the way. Hello Rob, how are you doing?
I'm all right, thank you very much. I've got my festive jumper on just for you.
Yeah, I might put the video up. Might. I've been toying with the idea. I think you're the only one who's made an effort so far.
Christmas tree in the background and everything.
Yeah, it's nice and blurry. Nice bokeh going on now.
I was quite surprised when you asked me to kind of do your holiday special, if you like, because, like, after you, I'm probably the most humbuggy Ebenezer type person I know.
I think that's why I turned to you for it. It's not the most Christmassy film ever.
Well, it's entirely not a Christmas film, isn't it?
Oh, okay. Let's get into this. Today's movie review is sponsored by the What the Fuck Do You Want podcast. That's right. Punk pleaded with me to cover this film because it's one of his absolute favourite festive films of all time. Due to scheduling issues, he couldn't come on and tell you how much he loves it himself, though. So this is sponsored by the What the Fuck Do You Want podcast. The podcast by cunts, about cunts, for cunts. Now, Adam Sandler, polarising figure in entertainment, was going to do a series on him like my other one with Nona, where we did the Lindsay Lohan series. But he's not actually that exciting in a celebrity sense. Not many scandals. I did have a look up, see if he was involved in any that were kind of noteworthy. The worst I could drag upon him was he was a bit... There's a bit about him asking female actors to turn up to auditions in Push-Up Bras once. That was the Rose McGowan thing she came out about it. But she said like she didn't want to vilify him because I'm pretty sure other people have done it. And he once put his hand on someone's leg during a TV interview. I believe that was on Graham Norton. Something that isn't right, but also something that hasn't had any repeat occurrences. So he may have learned from that. And he's not really vocal about anything online anyway. So you even know if he apologised or learned from it, or I think there's a broad range of racist caricatures in these movies over the years. Which
yeah,
we'll
get into Rob Schnieider later on, shall we?
Sadly, we'll get into Rob Schnieider. Sadly.
There's quite a lot of stuff of it. So I'm very much a fan of Adam Sandler. Certainly the earlier stuff and bits and pieces of the Netflix era. But there's definitely, like in most of his films, there's stuff that you just kind of go, oh, hang on a minute.
Especially the earlier ones. I mean, 95 was his kind of coming out years, and 95, 96, 98, through to about 2000. Then it's a slow descent after that with little peaks here and there. Because I'm pretty sure my first film with him was Airheads. It's more like a group thing anyway. And
it's a Brendan Fraser movie, really, isn't it?
Yeah. It's
great.
I've got his list of his films up, and there's the ones where he's in as an actor, one where he's actor, producer, screenwriter, And if you go with the ones he's acted in and written, I think the biggest one he did was Happy Gilmore, which is 1996, which is everyone really sort of will turn to as possibly being the point they said they liked him.
The Wedding Singer was massive. I remember The Wedding Singer being massive.
Yeah, Wedding Singer he starred in, didn't write.
Right, okay.
The Waterboy, Big Daddy, Little Nicky was his kind of 4 films, and Little Nicky was, a choice. And in the same year, he made 8 Crazy Nights, which is the next one after Little Nicky that he acted in and wrote. He did Mr. Deeds.
I like Mr. Deeds. The Blackfoot stuff is funny, and Winona Ryder. That's just it, Winona Ryder.
He also made Punch Drunk Love, which is considered his best film ever, because he didn't write it.
It was what's his name, wasn't it? The fella that everyone likes that made
Paul
it.
Thomas
Paul
Anderson?
Thomas Anderson. Yeah, that's the fella. Old 3 names.
But that was 2002. That's when he made this film, and after that, it's 51st Dates, Spanglish, Longest Yard, Click, Reign Over Me, which is something I
love that film. That is like I put that alongside Punch Drunk Love with his like dramatic high points, shall we say?
That's one I point out as being an oddity because it's a different production company that he made specifically to make serious films, and everyone shout on it. So that's the only film they ever made under that banner.
I watched that film not long after having like my first son, and like some of the themes for it, like losing people, losing children. It's just it just absolutely broke me watching it, and I think his performance is like it's really, really good. And I think that's why it's things like that why I kind of forgive him more than maybe I should.
Yeah, let's say he has the peaks where it's like, okay, he's done all these terrible films or films that are so mid, they mash together, you don't know which one's which, because it's the same story pretty much over and over again. And he'll come up with something like this, or he'll act in something like this anyway, he didn't write this one, which stands out as being, that's actually quite good. And I did believe when I first started podcasting, we did like a Adam Sandler special. I think we covered a couple of films and went over roughly his career with movies and going, we've seen that one, not seen that one. And I did say during that I put him down as winning an Oscar at some point.
Right.
And I'll stand by that. So I still reckon he's got a chance. And I will insert that clip here. How in Punch Drunk Love he plays a part and acts to a point where you think he could actually win an Oscar at some point.
I don't want to jump over your list a bit further, but Uncut Gems, he was very good in that. Again, that was the Safdie brothers. And then Hustle recently on Netflix, the basketball one. I enjoyed that as well. Again, more of a dramatic role.
I'd say Uncut Gems was his last film that seemed to be considered something that he would win an Oscar for, or get basically considered for it. But he was ignored completely, and I think that may be why he's going to return to just doing the same old crap on Netflix, because you're getting paid $250 million, is it, for a new contract for Netflix films, and he just goes, right, I'm gonna book me mates, I'm going to go on holiday somewhere, and I'm going to get a attractive woman to play my wife, who's probably half
I'd just
my
like
age.
to mention, like, in terms of all of his films, every one of his leading ladies, like, smoking. Like, that boy is punching, let's be fair. Like, who we got Joey Adams, Jennifer Aniston,
Salma Hayek.
yeah, Sam. Yeah, how did he manage that? Sorry, I got a bit squeaky then.
She does that to people.
But yeah. Even Drew Barrymore, to be fair, like, pretty lady.
Yeah.
And he's, looks like a melted welly.
Yeah, he's had a couple of hits with Netflix for Murder Mystery, which I've not seen, but he's got 2 of them out. And next year, you seen what's in post-production? What's been finished?
While doing some research around Rob Schneider, I saw that Happy Gilmore 2? Is that what you're getting at?
Yep, Happy Gilmore 2 has been made.
Just leave it alone. Leave it alone.
Is he going to ruin the history and legacy of Happy Gilmore?
Yeah. He's got enough money though, isn't he?
That's the thing. It's like I say, he's had the roles where he's doing serious acting, he's trying something different, and they've not been bad. They've not been bad to being very good. Obviously, Punch Drunk Love, Paul Thomas Anderson went, right, you're this type of character, I'm going to make this type of character, and you're going to play the same character. And the same with Uncut Gems. The Safdie brothers went, okay, they apparently wanted to make a film with him since Happy Gilmore. They went, we want that character in this role, and it's written specifically for him, and he's trying his best and not getting any appreciation for doing it. So it's a case of fuck trying, just get paid for having fun, which you got to respect to a certain extent.
Oh yeah, and he seems to bring his mates along with him, much like Kevin Smith always gets. Well, Kevin Smith brings his mates along. You'll see in all of his own productions, his mates are always in them. You've got Rob Schneider in them. You've got, is it David Spade? Yeah.
Yep.
The guy with the wonky eye, whose name I never remember.
Steve Buscemi.
No, the other guy with the wonky eye. But yeah, but this is the thing, and I kind
Kevin
of
James?
cheated on you. No, the other guy with the boss eye. I kind of cheated on you with another podcast earlier in the year. We did Big Daddy, and we were saying like, this guy Sandler must have something if, like, Steve Buscemi, who's one of the great character actors of our times, wants to work with him so much, even if that is just, I'm going to go and make a film with Sandler, it will be a giggle. There must be something there, because like I don't see Buscemi doing stuff just for the paycheck.
Yeah, I mean, they must have had a good time on Airheads. Anyway, let's delve into 8 Crazy Nights.
Yes, we keep talking about it as the Christmas movie, but remember it's a Hanukkah movie.
Yeah, I think even he wants it to be a Hanukkah movie, but it's the acceptance that it's not as celebrated, so you're going to go pitch it as a Christmas movie. Adam Sandler invites you to share some holiday cheer in the new, no-holds-barred musical comedy, Adam Sandler's 8 Crazy Nights. Davy Stone, a 33-year-old party animal, finds himself in trouble with the law after his wild ways go too far. In keeping with the holiday spirit, the judge gives Davy one last chance at redemption. Spend their holiday performing community service as the assistant referee for the Youth Basketball League, or go to jail. Davy thinks he's gotten off easy until he meets Whitey Duval, the eccentric, elf-like head referee. There's mismatch between Whitey's good heart and never-ending optimism, and Davy's constant troublemaking soon has them both wondering if going to jail wouldn't have been easier. In this new full-length animated feature about basketball, old girlfriends, holiday spirits, and the mall. Thank you from Anon on IMDb for that one.
Always basketball with Sandler.
It's always basketball.
He loves it. He does. I've heard him on like Bill Simmons' podcasts and stuff talking about how much he loves basketball, but he does like to show off how good a basketball player he is.
And he does it in animated form.
Yes. So I reckon I mixed this up with a different film because I kind of remembered it as being a bit of a Hanukkah version of A Christmas Carol, where each night something would happen to make him a little more likable. Maybe look back on his past behaviour to try and make amends. And I definitely remembered it as a likeable little movie. But, and I'll get off the fence straight away, in reality, it's none of those things. And like, even at, 75 minutes? I was watching it and I was just thinking like, when is this going to be over? And I watched it twice because that's how much I love you.
Thank you.
I don't know, maybe there's a 22-minute holiday cartoon in there somewhere if you cut out all the cynicism, the consumerism,
Yeah, see,
the meanness, and it is mean. Take out the songs, and if you keep maybe like some of the flashback stuff, basketball stuff, the bit with the kid, where he's playing basketball with the kid, and maybe about 4 minutes of Whitey, then you might be able to carve it into something that's all right.
Yeah, see, well, that description of it and what you've just said, where it's 8 crazy nights. Okay, so 8 nights. It's over 8 nights, and each night he learns something new. That's what you'd think it'd be, because it's okay, Christmas, brackets, Hanukkah. You go with those films and you go, right, it's about learning a lesson. And that would be the lesson is like over 8 crazy nights, you learn bits about yourself and you change for the better. And you do it through the theme of basketball, because that's what he's known for as a kid. He's known for being a really good basketball player. That's why everyone knows him. But then his life goes wrong, and okay, you bring it back to that. But it isn't. It's just just him doing stuff and not actually learning at all.
No.
Which is his general film, isn't it, really? It's Adam Sandler learns nothing during his films. He just gets everyone to appreciate the fact that he's a dick.
And everyone does stuff around him to make it all right at the end.
Yeah, but this is the different. It should be you're learning something and you become a better person at the end of it. He doesn't become a better person. Everyone just accepts he's a dick and goes, "Oh, he's great because he's an alcoholic and he's a dick." Yeah. He doesn't do anything through the basketball. He just like one game, and then does bond with the kid playing something, and that's it. You don't see the basketball again.
No. So, also, like in your description, what was it? It was like a festive holiday comedy. It's not festive. There's nothing joyful about it. And comedy? Really?
Yeah, because you have Davey. Essentially, he's a kid who's very talented at basketball, and his parents die while he's winning the big game. So then he gets put into care homes, and he becomes an alcoholic and a jerk, and he lives in a trailer. It's American. So he's got a reason to be a jerk and angry at the world. But then he doesn't better himself by the end of it. Everyone's just explaining why he's like this.
Yeah.
And they go, "Oh yeah, it's fine. He's like this. He's fine. He still drinks." And they also really didn't do anything on the basketball side. And then he bonds with the kid, and then gets with the former girl he liked when he was very young.
Yeah.
Who they have no scenes together with during the entire film, pretty much.
No. I don't want to jump over what you've got planned for this wonderful show.
Got very little planned for this.
Okay, so I made a list of all the times that I went, "Oof, that's rough," where they are probably expecting me to laugh. So if you're ready for me to kind of go through this, strap in. Right. The very first scene, Rob Schnieider playing the owner of the Chinese restaurant, doing one of his stereotypical voices. I guess we should be glad that he's not made up in this one too, but more on later for the kids. He probably went method and sat in a recording booth for 3 days in full Chinese makeup. So then we get lots of burps. Are burps funny? I used to think so, but like there's so much burping in this. Was it just like Sandler going, "Wow, I can belch loudly if we can try that"? Banging in the car. He simulated making love to a car, which was just like, what's he doing? Like, then we get to the first song. We get like there's fart jokes. Are farts funny? Again, well they should be. There's that little saying that goes around probably the whole of the internet. It goes like, if you can't laugh at flatulence, then you have a lot less joy in your life. But exactly the same amount of farts. But I'm not laughing at the fart jokes. Then we get more Schneider voices. Then we get the terrible Adam Sandler voice doing Whitey, which is almost unintelligible. But then they take the piss out of Whitey's feet because disabilities are funny. Then we get some fat shaming with a kid who's playing basketball who gets fouled. They call him Jelly Jugs. And again, adults calling children fat is always a giggle. Seizures! Right, so I've just took a new job, and in this new job, seizures have become quite a big part of my daily life. So I have students with additional needs, including epilepsy, and then this one student who has stress-induced non-epileptic seizures most days. It's kind of like a PTSD thing, which goes back to some horrible, like proper fucking horribleness that happened to her, and like I have to get her through them. And it's rough. But seizures are funny in this. Anyway, back to my list.
Well, that was
where I've written...
That was a long one.
Where I've... Yes, where I've written, but that's okay because the mall will save us.
Yeah.
Okay, but then we get another joke of the big kid trying on a bra for no reason whatsoever. Then we get Sandler's character looking at an animated ass, and then he's like, "Oh, she's divorced and possibly vulnerable. My kind of girl."
Yeah.
Shall I continue?
Go for it.
Yeah.
Get them all out.
Then we get Whitey, who says he's not Jewish, but his sister is clearly a parody of like every Jewish mother on the telly. So whether it's like the mum in Everybody Loves Raymond, or Howard's mum who always shouts at him in Big Bang Theory, the Portaloo bit is just horrible.
Yeah.
We get another basketball game to show to show how great Sandler is at shooting hoops, even when he's coloured in. And there's another big guy who I guess is supposed to have some kind of learning disability. The guy they say, like, you eat his jock strap. And then the dude they're playing basketball against, after Whitey gets knocked out, says, "Oh, you're trading in the midget for a spaz." What the actual fuck is that? And in case you didn't get it first time, they then have another pop at the big lad with the additional needs. Then we have a song which is used to kind of show that, he used to have a heart, but it still has the "my wife used to be a dude" thing, which is just mean. There's lots more instances of disabilities being the butt of the joke, or Schnieider doing voices, until all the brands come alive to save the day. So, like, capitalism can save you from all your past traumas and make you a better person, and crying because your parents died resolves you of all your assholery, does it? And there's a line in that song like, "Why don't you show your feminine side and have a good cry?" Like, I'm just shrugging here. Then there's actually quite a good gag, which comes about 10 minutes from the end, and it's the first time I cracked a smile, and that's the "Merry Christmas to all of you celebrating Christmas, Ray! And Happy Hanukkah to those of you celebrating Happy Hanukkah." I actually cracked a smile at that one.
Yeah, that was my sole enjoyment of the film.
And then, despite the ending, the big takeaway is that even if you serve your community like your whole life, you don't get any recognition unless you're a billionaire who can buy an award. And if you need to console yourself with where your life is at, then you go to the mall and spend money on tat. And then we end with an old guy having a seizure. Finn. Sorry.
So recommending it then?
I just couldn't believe I was watching the same film that I remembered watching like years ago. I was like, I had good memories of this. What's gone on?
Yeah, I mean, when you first see the film, I was going to shit sandwich this one when I say something good about it, then say all the bad stuff, but we've loaded it with all the bad stuff.
I'm sorry.
It looks lovely. The actual animation.
It does look amazing.
And the fact that it is full cell animation is amazing. It's a lot of the team from the Iron Giant, who had been laid off from their company previously. And so the animation is really good. It looks like that film. You could probably splice bits of this into the Iron Giant somehow. Maybe make a much better film. Lots of flatulence in the Iron Giant, maybe. But the downside to it is it's an animated film that looks lovely, but it's got the adult humour in it. And the humour you get for Sandler films, which doesn't mesh at all. So you're left wondering, who the fuck is this for?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you see the animation and you think, oh, this looks lovely. It should be a lovely Christmas tale. Like the description you said is like 8 crazy nights, 8 nights. He does one good thing or learns one thing every night. That would have worked great. But then you go through all the things you've just said, where it's, he's banging the car. There's jokes about arses. There's the lonely, vulnerable widow, or the lonely, vulnerable single mum. Okay, I don't know who this is supposed to be for, because I can't see a Sandler fan sitting down and watching this.
And there's a difference too, exactly, because there's a difference in it to his other stuff. It's like, this is just horrible and cynical and mean, and like I said earlier, it's left me questioning like my Sandler loyalty. Most of his stuff has got a few problematic jokes, but you always give him the benefit of the doubt because it was kind of there so the perpetrator was laughed at. It's
Yeah.
like, so it's always in his other films, it feels like it's punching up a bit. So in Big Daddy, there's a few scenes with the boss-eyed guy, and he's weird around the gay friends. And like in 2020 eyes, whatever, it's not good, but it kind of it's there to show Sandler's character is accepting and loving of his friend's sexuality, and it's the other guy that has the problem with it.
Yeah.
Which could still be being very generous, but this film just punches down all the time, and it makes me not want to defend Sandler's stuff as vigorously as I have in the past, if that makes any sense at all.
Because you have the gig with the way he usually makes fun of him, and you'd think that character would come back at the end and like redeem, or get some sort of redemption on it, but he doesn't. He just that's it.
Yeah. And any script, film, person that uses the word spaz as an insult can get fucked in my eyes. Like this film, yeah.
Yeah, it was a tough watch.
Yeah. How do we feel about Mr. Schnieider? Just moving on to sensible stuff.
Just get in the bin. Fuck off. Fuck off. Keep fucking off.
Oh. Right. I got a bit on Rob Schnieider if you want it.
Go for it.
Right. These are the Schnieider roles that I, just off the top of my head, I made a list of that I felt could probably be deemed as, let's be generous and say problematic. I may have missed some, but like I say, just off the top of my head. So you got the Cajun You Can Do It guy in The Waterboy. Then the generic Middle Eastern maybe, immigrant in Big Daddy. He could have been Latin American, he could have been Middle Eastern, I'm not 100% sure, but it was generic immigrant in Big Daddy.
I can't remember me that at all.
Okay. They were teaching him how to spell, because obviously he was foreign, so he must be stupid.
Ah.
Okay. The Japanese priest in Chuck and Larry, full Japanese makeup. A Native American in Bedtime Stories. A Palestinian in Zohan. He's an Arab in Click. He's an indigenous Hawaiian in 51st Dates. And a Mexican in The Ridiculous Six. And a homophobic racist arsehole in Deuce Bigelow.
And in real life.
He then accused Dylan Mulvaney, the transgender influencer at the centre of the Bud Light nonsense, of cultural appropriation, quietly forgetting his role playing a woman in The Hot Chick. Obviously being trans and playing a woman on film are very different things, but seriously, fuck that guy. Also in real life, earlier this year, literally on the day that NBA Hall of Famer Dikembe Mutombo died at 58 from like this aggressive brain cancer, Schnieider quote tweeted one of the basketball player's tweets from 2021, where he was encouraging the people in his home country of the Democratic Republic of Congo to get the COVID vaccine, and he added, "Rest in peace." That's a good start, isn't it? I'm sure this is just another coincidence. I took a pass on the jab, and I'm gonna not let anyone know, and who will listen, get it either. Okay, so he's used the death of a sportsman to push his anti-vax nonsense. But it's not just COVID vaccines, it's all the childhood vaccines as well. Polio kids, it's coming for you. So, California State Assemblywoman Lorena Gonzalez was fighting against California Senate Bill 277, which was to remove some exemptions to mandatory vaccines based on personal risk. Anyway, he phoned her up and left her a message saying he would spend as much money as it took to campaign against her in her next election. She said she found the answer phone message to be disturbing, but upon calling back, she said he was actually much nicer to me. But let's be honest, that's 20 minutes of my life I'll never get back, arguing that vaccines don't cause autism with Deuce Bigelow, Mel Gigolo. He also loves Donald Trump, so Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Joyful Kwanzaa, or whatever you're celebrating this Christmas. But fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Fuck, yeah. Like, when you actually put it all, because you see it, you think, oh, there's Schnieider blacking up again.
Yeah. So shit sandwich. it was at least good to have a Hanukkah represented in the big movie, even though it wasn't represented that much. But it's nice to see that kind of thing at least tried. I guess
it does kind of call into question the whole Jews run Hollywood conspiracy with there being like that's the only mainstream Hanukkah film. Cut that if you want. That might be.
Yeah, then we finish the film with the Hanukkah song, which is probably the best part about it, or the Hanukkah song.
Or something.
Okay, so 8 Crazy Nights. Is it on the list of films you should watch at Christmas/Hanukkah?
No. Not for me. I'm not a big Christmas guy. I'm even less of a Christmas movie guy, and there's probably 100 films I'd watch again before that one. I'd happily never watch it ever again.
What is the one Christmas film you would watch, not including Die Hard / Lethal Weapon?
The last few years, and I'm not saying it's a good film, but I very much enjoyed The Night Before with Seth Rogen and Anthony Mackie, and it's just about them going out and getting shit-faced on Christmas Eve. And there's a very funny scene where Rogen's off his tits on everything, and there's a video message for his wife where he calls his unborn baby a cunt. But yeah, again, very silly, very childish, but it's got a bit of heart to it, so you kind of forgive it. It's
it's not mean-spirited.
Yeah, exactly.
Or if it's mean-spirited, it sort of redeems itself, or punishes the people that should be punished.
Yes, and I enjoy putting it on when the kids are gone to bed, and then I just have a silly little giggle to myself. I'm going to let the eldest boy watch it this year with me, so that'll be fun.
Okay, where can we find you this festive period online?
Oh, I'll probably be trying my best to hide from it all. But if you are interested in anything I'm doing, it's recordsandbands.com. Thank you.
Excellent. As always, you can find me and my holly jolly self at totalcultzone.com. Totalcultzone.com, where the holly jolly never ends. I thank you.
Was that Christmassy enough for you?